Hello everyone, today we're going to talk about an upcoming game that's soon to release in early access. That game being 6 Days in Fallujah. This was a game that was originally cancelled back in 2009 when it received a lot of negativity, and has now been brought back and rebuilt since 2016. Before we continue, if you do enjoy these videos, please give the video a like, and if you want to see more videos more often, please consider subscribing. I don't got a joke today about ringing the bell, but if you would kindly do so, YouTube may just show you my videos more often. 6 Days in Fallujah is a game that tells the story of the intense urban combat against Al-Qaeda forces within the area in November of 2004. The game is being developed for a co-op experience, having players slowly clearing out buildings and capturing strongholds in levels that are procedurally generated. The buildings may be the same, but the way the level is laid out is different each time. This, in theory, would allow players to revisit a level multiple times without being able to just memorize where everything is. Along with this, the AI is also being designed to be harsh and unpredictable, even going as far as luring players into traps or ambushes, which all comes together for a stressful experience filled with suspense and uncertainty. From there on, the game would feature multiple levels and missions over time. One of them including playing as an unarmed Iraqi father who's trying to get his family out of the city during certain missions. Highwire Games, the developers, are going above and beyond to provide an immersive and accurate depiction of the battle. The procedural level generation is to keep players on edge and make you feel like you're stepping into the area for the first time. They also interviewed over 100 Marines and soldiers as well as Iraqi civilians who lived in or near the area. Now, with the real-world event being very chaotic and there being millions of people involved in one way or another, not every story would be told, and some veterans and Iraqi civilians may have a completely different experience entirely. With that said, I'm sure we're all aware of Hollywood war movies coming out based on a true story that may not depict everything with pinpoint accuracy. So while we can criticize both games and films that don't show everything, we can still enjoy them for what they offer. With all this said, I also think this game could offer a lot more. Not necessarily on the Fallujah front, but by creating missions that are based on special ops missions, or other raids that could be just as hectic with their procedural generated level design. Currently, the game also doesn't really feature any additional attachments or loadouts. You get whatever the game gives you based on your role, and that is it. It's not a problem for the missions they want to use. Limiting players to using standard equipment not only adds to the novelty and accuracy of these events, but it also poses a challenge to players having to make do with what they got. That's great and all, but once the missions start to run dry, that novelty is going to wear out rather quickly. From player-driven feedback on other channels, 6 Days in Fallujah is missing some creature comforts that modern games provide, including more ambitious indie games such as Ready or Not. I feel Highwire Games has a fair amount of stories and quality of life improvements to work with for the time being, but I would love to see the random generated levels be used in other theaters of war and provide more weapon customizations over time. Perhaps that may be something we'll see in the future as either an expansive DLC or a standalone game. With all that said, 6 Days in Fallujah is set to release into early access on June 22nd for $40. What are your thoughts about this game, and what would you like to see come from Highwire Games? Let me know in the comments below. Until then, I'm Mr. Rain, and I'll see you next time.